Vern, if you want to move over just a little bit, if you can. Okay, ready?
We pretend like we got that.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn.
Hello, America.
And Bruce McGowan.
Good to be here.
Okay, we are in the studio here with Ginny Irwin,
Ginny.
a personal trainer. She's going to discuss sports nutrition with us. First question we got to ask you is, how did you get into sports nutrition?
Well,
Nice and loud.
You're sitting between a couple of boomers here.
Yeah,
Ginny. You gotta,
that's right.
if you want to be heard, you gotta
A lot
bring
of
it.
people here. You gotta squeeze in that voice.
One of the things that I've always loved was nutrition, and I did grow up in Marin County, California, which is one of the best places to grow, your own food. So I've always had a passion for nutrition and food. Now, sports nutrition was something that was kind of tossed into my lap after I was injured in a terrible skiing accident in Breckenridge, Colorado. During that time, I was getting ready to qualify for Q school for LPGA. I really wanted to be a professional golfer, so I ended up getting injured.
Skiing not the best thing if you're training to be a
exactly.
pro.
or a golfer. And
was it the Lindsey Vonn? Was it the knee?
No, it was my lower back,
Ooh.
so pelvis,
Oh.
and kind of the arm. I didn't have any health insurance, typical 20-something, no health insurance.
Invincible.
So while I was sitting around thinking about, what I wanted to do next, I ended up talking to a friend who was like, you should go back to school. So I went back to school for nutrition. I went to school at the University of Chicago. So I was in Chicago for about 17 years. And during that time,
Let's hear you picked up a little trace of that Chicago accent.
I know, everybody tells me that. I actually like that.
Yeah.
But during that time, I ended up just gravitating into kinesiology and exercise science. And I decided as I was going through school for nutrition to get certified as a personal trainer, a sports strength and conditioning trainer. And I worked with DePaul University, where I got to work with the girls volleyball team, the football team, the baseball team, and I really learned the importance of energy and fueling the body with athletes and how important it is.
Like the old Gatorade for Florida, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, well, this will lead me into my next question. I preface it by this: when you go out to a restaurant, can you enjoy a meal? When I say that, when you look around at the clientele, you see some guy, I don't know, he's 5'7", he's 250, he's about to eat this big old steak. Do you just cringe and go, oh man, does it just make you sad?
No, actually, because I do work at a medical weight loss facility. I work at 3 different facilities right now, and
Future customer there.
yeah, kind of. But I also, at the University of Chicago, they were working in an obesity laboratory even before obesity was on the radar back in 1995. And a lot of these people really, really struggle with a lot of pain and anguish and self-loathing. So I have a lot of compassion for them, actually, when I see them.
Yeah, it goes beyond just eating because you're hungry.
Yeah. Usually the people I'm hanging out with, they're like, oh my God, look at that cow, and I'll be like, I go, no, you don't understand. I go, it's so much bigger than just putting food into your mouth. It's a bigger issue than that.
You ever been tempted to just go up to the guy and just, here's my card. Yeah, please,
actually,
please
my
come
friends
see me.
do that.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's
embarrassing.
Okay.
It's like, she's a dietitian.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Here's the next question. The whole difference between the nutritionist and the registered dietitian. I guess one's more medically related than the other.
That's an excellent question, Vern.
Thank you. Almost like I wrote it down.
Well, what's unusual? California is one of the only states in the United States that does not require licensure to practice nutrition or dietetics. However, because the medical side of clinical dietetics, which is what I am licensed and schooled in, I have an opportunity here in California to work with the people I work with at Marin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, because they realize the value of a registered dietitian, whereas anybody can call themselves a nutritionist, and I like nutrition, I eat, I read a book, therefore I'm going to practice.
Sure.
Whereas a registered dietitian, we have a minimum of a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in nutrition science with a clinical practice, 2 years minimum working in all types of clinical situations. I've worked in psych wards. I've worked in the prison system. I've seen it all.
Okay.
Jenny, do you look down at the nutritionist and say, hey, come on, hey, I got big time credentials. It's about me.
It's not that I look down on it. I just don't think they really understand or realize that it's a major serious thing. Okay, it's a major serious thing.
It's kind of how I feel when people break out their camera phones and think they're actually doing video work, and then I bring my big boy TV camera, and go, no, this is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a paid professional.
There you go.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so getting into, since this is a sports show,
Mhm.
the nutritional needs about differing between sports. You know, a hockey player compared to a golfer.
Right.
Okay, what are the different needs?
It is absolutely amazing the differences between, let's say, a baseball player and a hockey player. The size of the person, their eating habits, their sleeping habits, we call them energy systems. So an energy system is basically, like right now, our energy systems are basically really, really low. We're not doing anything. We're just sitting in this office and talking.
But I'm thinking,
and
I'm
having a
thinking
good time.
very hard, and that takes a lot of energy.
Right. And a baseball player, I mean, they do move and they do have to use power, but most of the time they are somewhat sedentary.
Yeah.
So, and then you take a hockey player and he's constantly moving, he's on skates and, just constantly moving. So, yeah, it can vary from, let's say, I always like to look at, hockey players, swimmers, people that have to, do things to keep themselves above water or moving on ice. 6,000 calories a day, whereas a baseball player maybe 3,000.
I always think of soccer players as the guys that are of the team sports that are in the best shape because they are always on the move. Hockey, it's like you're on the ice for maybe 20 minutes and then another shift of players come
That's a
on.
good point.
And you're sitting down for about 2/3 of the time. Soccer players are out there every
And it's a very
single
large
minute.
field.
Yeah, you're moving around a lot. I mean, granted, you're not sprinting all the time, but you are jogging, you're moving into place, you're watching the field.
Yeah, but they have nothing on us bowlers, though.
That's right. Well, actually, also, hockey players, they wear 30, 40, 50 pounds of equipment.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I mean, you take those things into
Is
consideration.
it that many pounds, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost
Boy.
like football players. I mean, have you
Yeah.
ever actually put on a football uniform?
When I was a kid.
Just a cup.
And a helmet.
And it weighed 30 pounds, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
Hey, let me bring it back to baseball because the
Great.
hot button issue here in the Bay Area is third baseman Pablo Sandoval of the Giants.
Hmm.
Hey, when he's hitting good, I always say on the air, hey, he doesn't look so fat, does he?
That's true.
But when he's got a play to make it a hot one, he doesn't get to the ball. They're like, see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's too fat. He's out of shape. He's got to lose weight.
And you know what's amazing about him is that he is very quick too. If you watch him run,
Mhm.
he has muscle fibers, and this is another thing that separates athlete to athlete is the type of fiber muscles that they use. Again, the energy
Now,
system.
you're saying does he have fast reflexes or quick like he's
Cat
fast?
quick
Yeah,
reflexes.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that's different
There-
than
it's-
being fast, like being able to run to first base fast.
Right, they're fast twitch fibers, and
Okay.
some athletes are born with, everybody here has their own, and he happens to have those fast twitch fibers. And due to his weight, and when he has his timing and his tempo down, which I can relate to as in golf, when he connects with that ball, it's going.
Yeah, because you got very quick. That's like me. I mean, well, like me. I have very quick reflexes. I think because I'm always scared of getting hit. But I'm very slow.
By
Very
a
slow.
bowling ball, or
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to cut to our first commercial break, and again, the theme is NCAA basketball. What school was the first team to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row without winning a game? All right?
Without weight.
Without winning a game.
without winning
Without
game.
winning a
in the
game,
tournament.
they were the top seed in the tournament before it
Yeah.
began.
And they hadn't won a game
They-
yet, or they didn't win a game
They
after that?
didn't win a game once they got to the tournament.
Wow.
And I'll give you a
Okay.
hint. We're talking 1980, 81, and
Okay.
1982. The first three callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. What school was the first team to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row without winning a game? Hint, 1980 and 1982. Call 888-660-4495. Make sure to include your name and your email address. Speak slowly. Speak slowly. Spell out your email one word at a time. Don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101. I'll be right back.
All right.
I have no
Is
idea.
that Stanford?
I'm not
No.
going to
No.
say. I don't get to say anything until.
No.
Hey, it's skills.
Stanford, I don't think has ever been ranked number one.
No.
Not since 1941 when they
We're
won
talking
the
about NCAA basketball.
Women's? Now women's, that's different. I think.
No, we're
it's
talking
different.
about.
So they were a top seed 3 years running, and they were knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically,
Wow.
that's the question.
3 years in a row, they were
Indiana?
knocked out.
I
Oh,
was
you're
gonna
not going to tell me.
88.
I'm not
That
gonna
was
tell you until we get
that
off
was
the
when I
air.
was at Virginia.
I was going to say Indiana
fair.
or maybe.
No, Indiana won it in '80. That was my freshman year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
Oh, you went
Michigan
to school?
State.
Indiana?
No, I went to Virginia.
Oh,
Went to UVA.
Where'd you go to school, Jen?
me?
Yeah.
University of Chicago.
Oh, that's right. You said Chicago, right?
Yeah, University of Illinois at Chicago. I did my master's degree in Northwestern.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
I went to school at the University of Denver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice school. Small.
I
Good
wanted,
hockey school.
I wanted to go there. Oh,
Did
they have
you?
a great nutrition program.
Yeah, they have a really good hotel and restaurant management too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
That's their big thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
in this topic, because again, we got to get her out of here pretty soon. Let's cover the challenges athletes face in regards to nutrition and some of the food rituals you see athletes do.
Oh, I
Ask about
want to know about the
7-Eleven.
5 things you can get at a 7-Eleven.
I'll let you start off with that
Yeah.
after we answer the question. Ready? Here we go. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn
Yep.
and Bruce McGowan.
Nice to be here.
And we're in the
Edward.
studio here with Jimmy Irwin. We cut to the first commercial break. Here's the first trivia question. What school was, we're talking NCAA, what school was the first team to be the #1 seed in the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row without winning a game? Again, we're talking NCAA
NCAA tournament.
basketball.
Wow.
You said early
Can I
1980s.
guess?
Yeah.
Take a
You
guess.
can go ahead, Jenny.
Georgia?
Georgetown,
No,
Louisville.
no.
UCLA.
DePaul.
DePaul.
Oh!
There, that's my school.
DePaul.
You should have gotten it. Okay, now,
Oh, man.
Ginny is here because she
They did
is-
win one game though, didn't they?
they won nothing and you'll like it.
Wow.
Apparently. Okay, so
They were
Vern,
praying.
you wanted to ask Ginny a question again.
Yeah,
Ginny-
not that we're getting you to try out for the Biggest Loser show. Okay.
That's
And not that, and I'm sure you have gone into people's homes, gone to the fridge, gone to the pantry, and said,
Yes.
get rid of this, keep that, get rid of this, keep that, and you're good.
Yeah.
But for us commoners, the ones who live maybe around the corner from, say, like a 7-Eleven, is there anything in that store you can actually get
Besides water?
Yes.
and not hurt you?
Again, MLB players on the road, any of my college students on the road, the 5 things I tell them that they can
Drum roll,
have
please.
Yes, I'm going to write
When
this
they're-
down.
on the road.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 1, you always want to get milk.
Milk.
What kind of
It's
2%?
high-
2%,
Yeah,
whole.
I mean 2%, 1%, chocolate 2% but
I like
calcium,
I like you so far. Okay, go ahead.
protein,
Mhm.
phosphorus, magnesium, all of those things that an athlete in recovery and also pre-nutrition.
And preferably organic milk. Of course,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get that at 7-Eleven, but you would get
Well,
milk.
you never know in California.
That's true.
That's true.
So we have our milk,
Okay.
then we have our
Donuts.
fruit. No.
donuts. Okay,
No,
what kind of fruit?
Yeah, bananas,
Bananas,
apples.
okay.
You can
Apples.
always find those. They might be like $4 a piece, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's gonna be worth it.
Well, it might be
after
full.
the show, they're
Well,
gonna
it is a
have more.
convenience
And
store.
they might be 4 weeks old, but they've been preserved so well that they go.
Right.
Right.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3.
Donuts.
Nuts.
No, I can't with
It's
the
nuts.
It's
Nuts,
the
yeah.
dough without
Yeah,
the
exactly.
nuts without the dough.
Yeah, what kind of
So
nuts?
typically, I like almonds,
Yep, love those,
cashews,
love those.
peanuts.
Yep.
I mean, you can find nuts anytime, any place in a 7-Eleven or any kind of convenience store.
So
I eat a lot of saltless nuts. Is that good?
Yeah,
I do.
actually,
I'm laughing because that's the name
You
of
know,
your
That's the name of my fantasy football team.
Are
The
you
saltless
serious?
nuts. The saltless nuts.
That's very cute.
That's right.
However, most athletes need to have salt in their diet.
Okay.
Number
4.
4, any type of protein sandwich. Typically, they'll have a deli or they'll have pre-made sandwiches. I do not recommend hot dogs or fried food,
Yeah.
but any kind of deli or pre-made sandwich,
Okay.
Ham,
Yeah.
Turkey or
Tuna,
ham
tuna,
yeah.
chicken, something like that on a
Okay.
whole wheat bun would be the first thing to do. The last thing.
Number 5. I'm still rooting for donuts. Come on, Ginny.
No, that doesn't make it.
No.
But dried fruit.
Oh, of course.
Dried fruit.
That's still
Yeah.
fruit.
Lots and lots of energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it will last. So, if you're on the road and you need to grab some things to go and put them in your bag, in your bag that you're going to take with you on the field, these are all foods that you can throw in your bag, take with you. You don't have to worry about, have your sandwich. Obviously, you want to have that, when you're having it made. But it's really, really important to be able to go somewhere like a 7-Eleven or Circle K and take some nutrition out of that store and not take crap, basically.
Well, like the apples, the nuts, and the dried fruit, that'll last quite a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do a lot of. I was gonna say I do a lot of hiking, and I always take along fruits, and
Exactly.
if they're fresh or dried, and the nuts. I mean, it's easy energy to carry, and it gives you the energy that you need.
See, my favorite were Hostess ho-hos. And my wife used to say, Edward, don't you see all the preservatives? That stuff's going to last 200 years. I go, how else am I going to live to be 200 years old?
Yeah, you know what? Hey, Twinkies are back on the shelf.
Yeah, that's true.
Once in a while, it's
Well,
fun
you
to
know
have a
what?
glazed donut, though.
I
Right?
got to tell you, professional athletes are very much into their diets and nutrition, and what I tell them, they will do, unlike the average bear I work with.
Well,
Mhm.
it's a profession.
Yeah.
They got to
Yeah.
stay in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, $10 million, $20 million contracts. They're going to choose the nuts over the donuts.
It'd be interesting to find out what Draymond Green of the Warriors has been playing very well. He's not known nationally. Well, maybe he is. He went to Michigan, one of the top rebounders in the
But he
country.
dropped 20, 25 pounds. to get ready for the
Exactly,
season.
Yeah.
and his
And it's
numbers,
all nutrition.
and it's
Yep.
all nutrition. His
That's
numbers
right.
have gone up appreciably this year.
That's right.
He made a big play the other night to help seal the win at Sacramento.
Speaking of basketball players,
I love
mean,
basketball.
they play normally night games, okay?
Yes.
So by the time
Baseball
they're getting out of there,
players, too.
by the time they get out of there, it's late at night.
Good
Yep.
point.
We're dudes. We want to eat.
Right.
You know,
Midnight snacks, man.
and so many times. Yeah, I work late. I get home. I just want to
Okay.
raid the fridge or
do
whatever.
you want to know what the strategy is?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I'm
give
gonna tell you the
me
secret.
the mind over matter
Yes.
strategy.
Don't
This
eat
is-
after 8. Go ahead.
Well, no. This is what when I do timing and nutrition with athletes, especially practices, games. What you want to do is you want to have your biggest meal, okay? So you guys think about your
In
day.
the breakfast, in the
No.
morning.
No. Wrong answer.
Oh, okay.
At least 3.5 hours, you have your biggest meal before you're going to go on the court, before you go on the field.
Oh.
So you really, really want to fuel for that game.
Yeah,
And then what
makes
you do is I call it titrating. You titrate little snacks if you need them through to keep your energy level up.
Okay.
And then after the game, you have something light. A salad, a Caesar salad, or some grilled meat with
Well,
some
after
steamed vegetables.
After playing basketball, like if I were playing basketball at night, I wouldn't be hungry for a super big steak afterward. I
Right.
want to eat in fact, that reminds me, Michael Jordan. Remember how sick
I
he
was
was that
there.
one that
I
game?
was there.
Okay, I understand from the reading about the water boy or whatever. He didn't get Gatorade. What the water boy gave him was applesauce. And that fueled him. That got him through.
Exactly.
Well,
Applesauce is great when you're sick. I mean,
Yeah, it
seriously,
is.
it is.
I just would have thought they would have just IV'd him with fluids.
Yeah,
just to keep him going.
yeah.
I remember my
Yeah.
mom always used to give me that stuff when I was a kid. If I had an upset stomach or if I was dehydrated, it's great. It's easy on the
Applesauce
stomach.
is great. No,
Yeah.
it's true, and that's one of the things. After if you're fueling throughout the day and you're having your big meal before a big game, and I've had a lot of Olympic players I've worked with. They'll go and they'll splurge for their big meal of the day, but after practice, basically you're going to refuel to a certain extent. But rest and recovery is actually something that you don't hear enough
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
after playing, and that's like the biggest thing is
Sure.
to recovery nutrition and rest.
Especially those old farts.
Boy, Jenny's
Yeah.
inspired me. Now you got
I know.
you got a Twitter account or something like that? Can people
do
follow you
actually.
and kind of?
I do have a
How do we- how do
that's
we-
right. Go
how do we
ahead.
follow
Yeah,
you?
before we said we have a few minutes, but I didn't want to forget that. Thank you very much for reminding me. Go ahead, give us all your good information.
my Twitter handle is at genetics, so it's GINETICS.
With an I. Not
Yes.
genetics, but genetics.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then my website is www.genetics.org, and I can be found in a few different places in Marin County, Marin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Group, which is in Novato. They're also coming out with this fabulous consumer-based. It's a web exercise for rehabbing exercises, and they're going to have a nutrition component. And I'm at the Bay Club.
Okay, now remember, this is a national sports show,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of people in
right.
Connecticut are going, where is Marin County?
I see.
Yeah.
I
That's
see.
okay. That's all right.
Gotcha.
But also, I wanted to ask you about
Yes.
supplements. Do they really help the athletes?
Supplements.
We're not talking steroids, obviously.
Right. Supplements are very, very slippery slope, and companies will send athletes
Oh,
supplements, and I'm always like, whoa, don't take those things yet. Okay, let me evaluate them for you because there's a lot of hidden things in supplements because they're not regulated by the FDA.
Yeah.
And I really try to steer my clients away from taking supplements. I mean, food first.
What about like protein drink? If I understand correctly, doesn't fluids get into your system faster than pills? The average pill. I mean, obviously,
Yes.
I know that there's some. Okay.
Yeah, the absorption.
The absorption
on a
rate, that's what I'm
cellular
talking
level.
about. Okay.
Right.
So what about being able to take protein drinks? Because a lot of times getting protein, eating a little fish or eating chicken, you're not getting enough protein.
Well, I have to, really, really kind of pull the covers back on this
Okay.
one. We actually don't need as much protein as we think we do. Okay, unless we're healing our body from an
Okay.
injury, like maybe you're a burn victim, maybe you'll need a lot of protein.
Yeah, but I'm over 50 now, and no matter how hard I work,
Yeah,
my muscles keep getting
Well,
smaller.
here's the thing. What you want to do then is you want to take creatine.
Creatine. Okay.
Okay, and you're going to cycle off and on creatine with your workouts.
Isn't that the thing that McGuire took before he got into the steroids?
No, that was
No.
androdiastine, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That
love ephedra.
Yeah.
They took it off the market.
Yeah.
And what about the weekend warrior? What does he do to improve his performance?
The weekend warrior, I would definitely, if he's hitting a plateau, which is typically when clients come to me, they're like, I'm not getting any faster, I'm getting injured.
Yeah.
They need to have a really good evaluation on what they're eating. Typically, it's they're under eating and overtraining, and they're not resting and recovering enough.
And that's the thing. I know that when I get hurt, I mean, it's just all downhill from there.
Exactly.
My wife had said if I didn't stay in shape when I was 50, she was going to trade me in for two 25-year-olds.
Ah.
I had to stay in shape.
Lastly,
Yes,
one more point.
One more thing, and then we got to cut the break.
Okay. The last thing I was going to mention is with weekend warriors. A lot of times they're working hard and they feel like they can reward themselves.
Oh yeah.
And they typically will reward with
Donuts?
Sunday. Yeah.
There you go.
You like those donuts.
I love those donuts
Yeah,
and ice cream.
or
There we go.
like a whole pizza. So
Yeah.
I mean, all that it's all like you're running up a muddy hill. You're just not going to get to the top.
Oh my gosh.
Hamster in a wheel.
Yeah, trying to work out after eating some of that stuff. It's like, forget it. Ginny, Irwin, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, here's the second commercial break trivia question. Again, the theme is NCAA basketball. Who was the first major college player to score over 2,500 points while standing less than 6 feet tall? Hint, 1967 to 1970. The first three callers with the correct answer on a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Call 888-660-4495. And I know you guys have heard of this gentleman. Who was the first major college player to score over 2,500 points while standing less than 6 feet tall?
And he played to 67 to 70?
67 to 70. Call 888
In college or the NBA?
Remember, no, NCAA.
NCAA.
Yeah. 888-660-4495. Don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
That's it.
Wow.
Great.
Lucius
Perfect
Allen at UCLA? No.
You guess when I
Okay.
come back.
Right.
No guessing.
No guessing. No
No
guessing.
guessing. Yeah.
He was a great player, but he wasn't that good.
I love this national radio.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. 1, 2.
Yay.
Sorry,
Hey,
send that to me too. You give me a photo.
Well, we'll get all four.
Okay.
We should get all
Yeah.
4 of us.
Absolutely.
Selfie.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they call that.
That's right.
And my wife keeps
Great
telling me to
picture.
get a smartphone. I keep saying, no, I will not do it because I know I'm going to spend way too much time on it.
Playing solitaire.
No, just, texting and doing all the stuff that everybody has to do.
I know. Well, sometimes I try to text you and I
It drives her crazy that I'm on the
How are we doing on time?
Uh,
I gotta hit it.
You've got to go. Yeah, we'll continue on without
Thank
you,
so
unfortunately.
much. It was
Hope you
really,
had fun.
really
Did you enjoy
fun.
yourself?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thanks for the information too.
Definitely.
Anyway, I got to ask you real quick, why is gluten, I guess it depends on the individual, but some people can't handle gluten. Other people, they can handle it. But generally speaking, a lot of people are saying, oh, I don't want gluten in my diet. What's the problem with
2 ends on
Yeah,
Jenny?
well, I mean, say what?
2 ends on Jenny?
G-I-N-N-Y.
Ginny.
Is it because human beings just aren't we weren't designed to take in these whole grains that we're eating now as much.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is the processing. So
Okay.
you're getting cross contamination.
Oh.
When they're processing grain, which is a big part of the problem.
Okay.
Also,
That's what I thought.
find with my athletes, more of them
IRWIN.
have soy problems.
ERWIN.
Big gluten
Really?
problems.
Soy
With
problems.
an E
Yeah.
early.
So are they allergic to it? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, soy is actually highly
ERWIN.
allergic.
So and you won't know until you've ingested
Exactly. I
it.
have,
What kind of symptoms?
usually GI, stomach, gas,
Yeah.
cramping. A lot of my athletes can't do soy. They do okay
yeah.
with whey.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
Bananas, but bananas give me, for like the first 5 minutes after eating, they give me cramps.
Yeah.
But then it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'll eat them
Does it
anyway.
matter what stage of ripening?
No,
You better
doesn't make
one-
any difference. Doesn't make any
What
difference.
about-
Sometimes it
No,
won't. Sometimes it won't happen. But
What
You
if
should-
you
how do you get a
blend it?
picture with you
yeah,
set it up
I
somewhere?
like to just cut them up and put them on my
Well, we'll
cereal.
just
I'm
stand
just
up.
curious.
Just do it right
It's
now.
an experiment.
Hey, what's your
Blend it.
Twitter
It's not a big
handle again? At
It's at genetics.
GINETICS.
CS. At genetics.
Nice outside, by the way. I like this cool weather. Finally.
Yeah, it's
Feels
gonna
like-
get colder too.
Yeah, it feels like wintertime
I
finally.
could talk about nutrition all day long.
Oh, I bet. Well, this is your, this is your thing. This is your career.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I hate that though. Just in the last year, I noticed
What's that?
working out and then just.
Well, we get older. Hey, wait till you get to be 61 like me. It creeps up on you
I hope
real
I could look
quickly.
like you.
Try the creatine. 3 to 5.
Yeah.
3 to 5 grams, and take it a little bit before you work out, and then a little bit afterwards. But they're
In
actually
liquid form or
it's usually in a powder.
powder just mixed in water.
Water. Mhm.
How's it taste?
It tastes like neutral.
Neutral? Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, get on in here, guys. Let's
So,
get
uh,
let's get
What I
cozy.
was gonna say is,
Oh my God. I can only suck it in for so long.
Brucey,
Bruce.
Okay.
just
Here we
lean over. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Here we go. Got it. And I will follow you.
Oh,
I just
they're using
tweeted
it
about you.
with MS and Parkinson's patients now.
I'm sorry, the
Creatine.
creatine?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
interesting.
about
What does that do?
So,
MSM is pretty good too for.
the research, I haven't read that research, but
Should
I
let
know
Ralph
like
Barbieri know about that.
NIH, they're doing those types of studies.
Ralph probably knows about that, right? Because Ralph's got. No, he doesn't. What is it? He's got.
Ralph Barbieri?
No, he
Got my
doesn't.
card?
He's got.
GINETICS.
He's got something else. He's got something else.
.org
It's
is
a
my
nervous,
website.
No, I'm just trying to.
It's not Lou Gehrig's disease, but it's
Oh,
kinda like
there you are.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yes.
Have you ever
Follow?
tweeted anybody?
No, I don't.
Bam!
I have an
Yay,
account.
thank you.
You
Oh,
picked
yeah.
up another
I've
follower.
got 20 followers.
All right.
I whistle at
Okay,
girls,
good.
but I never
Very nice
tweet
to meet you.
anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jenny, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you,
Everybody has
Looks
a
like you're ready to
strong-
go for a run.
I'm going to train.
Good for you.
Yeah, my
Good for you.
clients.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't really train
Deal.
while you're training your client.
No, it doesn't work that way.
That doesn't work.
I mean, I've seen this do it.
Oh God, Vernon. Yeah, I did that morning shift 5 days last week.
Oh yeah.
The 3 o'clock wake up call. Now you saw 2 good games. I watched the. I didn't see much of the Raiders. I kind of had them on at the house with the family, but that looked like a great game. The Raiders Cowboys game. That
It was, man. I mean,
Great game.
the
Heartbreaker for the Raiders, but a good one.
Raiders should have won that game, man.
Yeah.
It
They should've.
just.
Last couple of games they should have won.
Yeah,
So,
they're good, just enough. They're just good enough to lose.
So I've got,
McCoy's
yeah.
not bad, you know. He's okay.
You know who's a good quarterback who's not a big guy is Russell Wilson.
Wilson,
That
yeah.
guy.
Wow,
Yeah,
he
the
put on a
Seahawks
clinic
for real?
last night.
I hear he shows up at the practice site at 5:30 and doesn't leave until 7 every night. And he and Carroll are just like that.
That helps.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah. You wonder, are they going to win the big one now? You know.
Well, if they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs,
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah, well, at least
They
get
should.
in.
That's always a should.
Well, they have incentive to win this weekend because if they do, they will
Clinch
wrap
one.
up home
yeah,
field.
Yeah, that defensive secondary is scary. And Richard Sherman,
Oh,
I
he's great.
covered him when he was
Man, he
at
talks the
Stanford.
talk and walks the walk,
Yeah.
man.
Well, he was
He
a
backs it
wideout.
up.
He was a wideout in college, and then
They
Harbaugh
converted him.
into defensive back, and look what's happened. You know?
Yeah.
I love the little rivalry between Harbaugh and Pete Carroll. I think they both really actually admire each other, but they do not.
Yeah, there's mutual. Yeah.
And I think 10, 20 years from now, they'll hey, how you doing? Good to see you. But right now, it's like,
Look at Harbaugh and Dick, do they get along?
oh, Dick gets along with everybody. Seriously,
Yeah.
he
That's
does.
good,
He's
really.
wonderful. He is wonderful.
Wow.
You know, he's 70 years old now, so I guess along with
Well,
everybody.
I was gonna say.
And back in the old days, he did.
He was, he's old school. He was OG.
Yeah.
You know.
For the gum wad that, I don't know if you remember this, in '87, I think the 49ers just destroyed him in a Monday night game. And he was so pissed, some fans were giving him a hard time. Took a wad of gum and threw it as hard as he could in the stands and hit somebody in the head with it.
You guys probably see.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys who he made it in the Hall of Fame as a coach and player, didn't he?
I don't think he's in there as a player. He was a good player, but not that good.
Yeah,
Not as a
thought
player.
he made it,
I don't.
as
I may be wrong.
tight end, right?
I may be wrong, but I don't think
For
he
the
made it.
Cowboys.
I think he was. Well, he was a Bear.
Well, it was a Bear first.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
that's
don't
where
think he made it to more than a couple Pro Bowls. He was very
Oh.
good. He was very good, but he wasn't like.
He might be.
You have to check it out.
Now,
See, now you
now I have to look it up.
I think he's almost for sure he's in there as a coach. Yeah, because they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, just that '85 Bears team.
I remember they came in and just destroyed the Niners, and that was the Niner team that had just overpowered everybody in '84.
Yeah.
And they beat them 26-10 at Candlestick in '85. Just mashed them early in the
That was
season.
their year. They just
Great defense.
and who did they lose to? Miami.
Well,
Miami's the one team that just seems to get everyone that one
Miami
game.
got the Jets this past weekend,
Yeah.
and
But
in
I
New
mean,
York, and destroyed the Jets.
But who else did they beat to ruin their season? Their undefeated season. It would happen like a year.
Well,
or
of
two
course,
ago.
Miami is the only team to have an undefeated season.
Yeah,
And that's
but I mean,
good.
they ruined the Bears' undefeated season.
It wasn't. I'm trying to think.
And then about 3 years ago was the Giants.
I don't know. I always think now, I don't even look at it until if a team gets into the postseason with a perfect record. I mean, remember the Patriots did?
Dude, he's the first tight end ever inducted
Really?
In the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Wow,
See, I
you
thought
were
so.
right. I stand corrected.
1988.
Wow. I didn't think he was. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he was that good.
427 receptions, almost 6,000 yards,
Wow.
43 touchdowns.
All right, so much for my memories. That's very good.
He also
Yeah.
scored 2 touchdowns on offensive fumble recoveries,
He was tough.
Wow,
tying
that's
7 other players for most in NFL history.
He was on some bad teams though, but he did play with Gail Sayers. Gail Sayers was there. And,
Ranked number 90 on the Sporting News list of the top 100 greatest football players.
Really?
Did you guys ever see the movie? Let's see, I Am Third with Billy D. Williams and James Caan about Brian Piccolo.
Well,
I thought it was just called Brian
Brian
Song.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of
right.
course.
Yeah, well, the book was I Am Third.
Oh, okay. Brian
Yeah.
I saw both of them.
Yeah,
both versions. Yeah,
Great
love that
film.
movie.
Yeah, and Dick was on that team too.
But the only thing that Brian Piccolo said he was scared of was Ray Nitschke.
Because
Because Butkus played on their team.
I believe it.
Yeah. God.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
That was good. She's
Yeah,
good.
she is good.
Okay.
I like female jocks. They're always a lot more confident and more easygoing.
Yeah, apparently she was a very good golfer. I didn't know that.
She looked like
Qualified
an
for
athlete.
Q school and got jacked up in a ski. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your back problem too. That's no fun.
Okay. Here.
Breckenridge, that's a nice place.
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we're going up to Tahoe after Christmas.
Hopefully get some snow.
I know. Okay, ready?
Yes,
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn
Hey.
and Bruce McGowan.
Hello, hello.
And we enjoyed having Ginny in the.
Nice to have a little estrogen in the room.
That is true.
I think my mic is not working.
Hey, for the next 8 hours,
Okay,
8 hours,
Okay.
I'm going to eat correctly.
I know. I wrote this down. Donuts, right?
Yeah.
All right. Going back to the trivia question.
All right.
The second one. Again, we're talking about NCAA basketball. Who was the first major college player to score over 2,500 points while standing less than 6 feet tall? Who do you think of when you think of
I
less
always
than 6
thought
feet
Gail
tall?
Goodrich was under 6 feet, but he
This
played
is
before that.
1967 to
Lucius
1970.
Allen, maybe
Come on,
something
you
on
guys know him.
UCLA.
Pete Maravich?
No,
Yeah.
no, he was over 6
Carr?
feet. Calvin Murphy.
Calvin Murphy.
Murphy.
Ah.
That's right.
Great
Okay.
Houston Rocket. He was a grad from Niagara University.
Very, very good.
Yeah, good guy. Yeah, I remember seeing him get in a fight with a guy who was about 6'8", and he beat the tar out of the guy. Are we having problems there?
Yeah,
with the
okay,
mic?
there you go.
Oh, I hear him now.
Okay, I was going to say Calvin Murphy from Niagara. I remember seeing him get in a fight when he was in the NBA with a player about 6'8". Calvin Murphy was only about 5'8", and he just beat the got on top of him and wailed away. And the big guy was like, "What's going on here?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?"
Okay, just going on a couple of quick things here. Mr. Winston from FSU being accused of rape.
Oh, you're talking about the Florida State player?
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is 11 months later.
Now he's quarterback in the
Now
top
the
team in the
quarterback.
nation.
What's the deal with that?
It could be one of those he said, she said. It sounds like it is, unfortunately.
Well, you know what's going to follow him, whether he's guilty or not.
Yeah.
He's already been court of public opinion.
Yeah.
For a lot of people think, oh, he probably did it. You know.
How many people have forgotten about Kobe Bryant? Right?
Yeah, that's right.
But this happened 11 months
It's
ago. I mean,
you know, it's
come on.
hard to make these things stick because 10% of all rape victims even report, only 10% report.
Yeah.
And then of that 10%, how many? I mean, in a lot of them, it's mutual consent. Oh no, I didn't want to do that, and oh yes, you did. And
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to sound that.
I
That
mean,
sounds callous, but it's
if
true.
it happened,
sometimes.
if she reported it, let's say within the first 3 weeks,
Mhm.
that'd be one thing. But I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but there's
Yeah.
just something about like the timing.
The guy happens to be a big
Yeah,
star.
if he
happens
wasn't
to
a
be
big star, geez,
I
you
know,
think that
I
would
know.
come out. So anyway, that was
Hey,
just one.
Colin Kaepernick makes a bid. All of a sudden, the mother comes out.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's right, because he's adopted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
How about
he's
him?
on top. All of a sudden,
Pablo Sandoval, a
comes
couple
out
years
about his
ago.
son.
Remember Pablo Sandoval? You were talking about him
Sandoval,
a
yeah.
couple of years ago, and that thing went away. I think he paid off the woman. I'm not sure. And a lot of times, a guy will pay somebody off because they don't want the trouble, and maybe it wasn't something that happened, but it's
Yeah,
it's a touchy subject.
And then
No
it still
pun
comes
intended.
out in the
Yeah.
and then it still comes out potentially in the public eye at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, have you guys heard about this new the women fighting in MMA? Now they've been fighting for a while. They come out with a new division for 115 pounds called the straw weight.
Okay.
Oh boy, those gals gotta be tough. The little ones.
Hey, you know what? Ronda Rousey, though, she drives the bus. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
who else do you think of besides her
I
in
was thought-
MMA?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not. I don't pay attention to it. So
You've never seen her fight?
I've never.
Oh,
I don't
my
even,
God,
I don't
Bruce.
even know.
Oh.
I'd be honest.
She's
with
got-
Nice fight, but
Ronda
I
Rousey, she's about I don't know, she comes maybe up to your waist.
you. Right.
But she
Low center of gravity.
but she was an Olympic judo star, medal.
oh,
Okay, and then she turned to MMA, and because of her looks and her brash kind of approach, she was able to be a rising star. In fact, she's had a lot of her bouts televised, and she's got this famous move. It's called the arm bar, where she bends your arm back
Ouch.
in an unnatural way, where you tap out,
Yeah.
and that's how she wins.
Interesting.
and she's pretty good looking, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to watch boxing because boxing's been around so long, but that's about the only sport I like to watch that involves fighting. These ultimate fighters, I know they're good athletes. No knock on them, but the way
Well, they're
Well,
tough, man.
yeah,
There's
they
a-
are tough, but I
there's
don't
a-
like to
there's
see
a-
'em just
there's a
sitting in the
rage
ring.
and a savageness that's
Yeah.
about
But
it.
too many
It's
times when they
unbelievable.
get a guy down and you're just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
That part I don't really.
I mean, to me, boxing is the ultimate one-on-one, mano-a-mano. To me, I mean, that's and it goes back so far. It's a brutal, vicious sport, but to me, it's a lot more of an art than some of these wrestling.
Go back to
Yeah,
John
but you know
El's-
what, Bruce? It's just you and I were OG. I mean, it's just a different in this push-button world. It's all about quick,
and
fast
Yeah.
entertainment, and that's what
that's
MMA
because
brings.
they don't have the patience and
Yeah, that's
they
true.
don't have the ability to have.
And you know what? And
attention.
it's not going away.
Hey, I don't
It's
have
just
the
not
patience
going
with
away.
boxing. Go back to John L. Sullivan.
That's not a good
do
sign.
bare knuckle fighting. That's the way it should be, right?
No, I mean, Verna makes a good point. Here in America, it isn't going away, and I think that's one of the problems of the world today. Because people now they decide if they're going to make a decision about something, they want to, create a problem. They create a problem, and we're going to get in a fight over it instead, instead of talking it out.
If boxing wants to match the MMA now, here's what they should do. It'll never happen because it'll probably result in certain brain damage or death. But they should have unlimited bouts, just like the old days,
where they go on and on and
where
on.
they just go on and on
Yeah.
until there is a decisive
73
winner
rounds.
and loser.
Well, they used to have bouts that went 27 rounds.
Yeah, back in the Jack Johnson days.
bare
Sure.
knuckles, bare
100
knuckles.
115 rounds.
Of course, that was 19th century, but they had bare knuckles.
Guys would
fights.
get knocked out of the ring and the crowd would put them back in.
Yeah.
They would.
It's a pretty savage world.
Yeah.
Well, I figured they got this straw weight. If they go any lighter, I guess they'll call it helium weight. That'll be the next one. And you know what? Then this is just my own machismo here. If I want to see these women doing this, I want to see mud wrestling.
Mud?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, actually, it is kind of entertaining to watch them.
Go out and rent stripes and watch the mud wrestling scene over and over again.
You just brought back
Watch
some
that
memories.
one. Bring back John Candy.
Bill Murray's first big movie, wasn't it?
That's right.
I think so, yeah,
And
that's
Goldie
right.
Hawn was in that thing, I think.
That was
Was she wrestling in the mud?
I don't think
No.
so.
Not for that one.
No.
Okay. Okay, this is just a really.
Goldie Hawn, Private Benjamin.
That's right.
Private Benjamin.
She's still pretty
Okay.
good looking.
Yeah.
Okay, the PBA, Pro Bowling Association, is using a blue dye in the oil for the lanes. I don't know if you noticed that, but I think they're trying to make it more exciting, so people can kind of see what's going on.
I didn't even know the PBA was around anymore.
Oh, come on. Oh, Bruce.
Seriously, I
Come
didn't.
on.
I thought they had gone away and died.
Oh, my God. Oh,
I mean,
bro. Oh,
I
I'm
went and
disappointed
took my
in you.
daughter. I went and took my daughter bowling a couple weeks ago here in San Rafael, and there was nobody there.
No, I know.
And on a Saturday afternoon, nobody was there.
It is dying. It for sure.
It is dying, but
Yeah.
there is a tour.
Oh, okay.
It's got its own following leading right up to the big finale in Las Vegas.
I apologize for
Oh.
Earl Anthony's.
That's right.
You know,
Well,
That's
don't
right.
You, don't you remember Pete
They
Weber?
used to have
Sure.
the Earl. They used to have.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just had the Earl Anthony Classic
Yeah.
up until
I think
about
Earl-
a year and a half ago.
Isn't
Out
Earl
in the
An-
East Bay.
He's still around, isn't he? Still.
No, he
No,
died 10
no.
years
Oh,
ago.
no, no.
Okay.
But Pete Weber,
He's still around, right?
He is, but
Okay.
he goes ahead, throws the strike, and he goes, "Who do you think you are? I am."
Ah.
That was on Sports Center. That's how
I love it.
ridiculous that was.
That's
But
great.
anyway, the one thing I was going to point out, when I was bowling semi-professionally, what they would do is they would oil the lanes straight across, so that nobody had an advantage.
Interesting.
Okay, I mean they were tougher lanes. I look at the oil on the web when I'm watching this thing, and they're putting what they call a 5-board block, which means they're not oiling it on the left-hand side or the right-hand side for the first 5 boards. That is cherry picking. I mean, if these guys don't average over 235,
Yeah.
they don't belong on the tour. Because when I was bowling, if I had a 5-board block like that, I'd be easily averaging.
Yeah, you have to be 235 or 240 to get on the tour, don't you?
Well,
average?
240 is really tough. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
average over 220.
220.
220.
I think I once broke 200.
There
once.
you go.
Yeah, once.
Left-handed with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
2 eyes tied behind your back.
And I think the lanes were cut off so that my ball didn't, didn't go.
Bumpers?
Yeah, bumpers. Yeah, I think I had bumpers.
And you went out for donuts and pizza.
That's
after that.
right. That's right.
with a clown.
That's right.
Kind of,
Yeah.
With a 20-ounce Coca-Cola.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys read about Robinson Cano?
What's the latest?
Okay, so he says.
Did he get his $300 million
No,
yet?
he denies asking for $300 million,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's reportedly seeking 250 to 260.
Oh, that's
I am not asking for $300 million.
Only
It's
250.
only 250.
Only 250. Jeez.
I just
What's the
think
difference?
I
Well, it's
thank
50
you.
million, I guess, but
yeah, but it's on one paycheck.
far
Yeah,
be
right?
it for me to say.
I just thought that was really funny.
That is kind of funny.
You know, you just divide it over the number of years
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Well,
Okay.
the money is just absurd in pro sports today. It really is. I mean, we kept saying it was absurd in the 1970s, and in the 1970s it was just like good white-collar money. Now it's just like good,
Well,
you're some kind of real estate baron or something.
Well, I wonder what year it happened where people had to get a second job, or just stopped having to get a
I think in
second
the
job.
1970s when free agency
Free
came
agent,
up.
I think
yeah.
you're right.
Mid-70s, yeah.
When you had the AFL, NFL
Yeah.
merger, all
Yeah.
the TV money started coming in. I mean, it was really,
Yeah.
and
1970,
especially in the NBA,
Yeah.
when they moved the NBA finals to prime time now.
Oh, yeah.
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 I mean,
Early 80s.
when they recognize that live sporting events is what people will really go for.
Can you believe? Now, the thing was, the NBA Finals were live back in the 60s, but for a while in the 70s, a lot of the games were delayed. As a matter of fact, the finals, when the Warriors were in the championships, they were shown live here. And I think they were shown live in most parts of the country. But
I was
you're
living
right.
on the East Coast. We get them
Yeah.
at 11:30 at
Yeah,
night.
I know. I remember that. Some
Yeah.
of the
Right after the late news.
It's such a shame, too, because the Warriors back in 1975, when they won the championship, they beat the Bullets 4 straight. They weren't even supposed to win one game. And it was so overlooked. Rick Barry to this day complains about it. We weren't on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Well, I don't blame him. They should have been.
Yeah.
They
It's like-
came out of nowhere to win
It's
that
like
thing.
when the,
Did they go to the White House? They didn't probably.
No.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Think Gerald Ford was going to invite the Warriors in? Who are they? I don't know who they are.
Was he president?
He was, Gerald.
You could have the national curling team go to the White House now if they went
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, think about 1954. The Indians won 111 games,
And
and
lost
then they
to
get
the Giants.
swept
Yeah,
by the Giants.
yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard about this. You ever heard of a sport called kabaddi? Kabaddi?
No.
No.
The Pakistani women are now making history as they compete in the kabaddi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. World Cup, and apparently it's sort of like tag team wrestling. It's that kind of sport. So the thing
Aren't they covered up?
Well, that's the thing. I know actually when looking at the pictures, they look like just like soccer players, and I thought that was very interesting to see how in Pakistan. I mean, that's a Muslim country, right? And I think one of the reasons is because India you know, they're always rivals between them, right?
Mhm.
And India has a very strong kabaddi team.
You know what's
So-
real popular in India is cricket.
Cricket.
And also
Regional,
in
yeah.
Pakistan too, because of the British influence.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
still a men's sport, isn't it?
I think women play it. I mean, they don't play it as widespread as men do, but I mean, at the higher level in terms of economic level, I'm sure they're allowed to.
So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of cool to say, you know, to see suddenly a little more westernized
Mhm.
thing.
My favorite obscure sport is 43-man Squamish.
Squamish.
I'll tell you about some other time.
I think I saw that at a bachelor party once. 43 men.
Hike.
Yeah.
is that what you do? You go hike after that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. But you know, we are going to cut to our final commercial break. Again. Yeah, I know it goes fast.
Another question.
Yeah. And, the third trivia question, commercial break again. The theme is NCAA basketball. For all of you college sport guys out there, what school appeared in 3 straight Final Fours in the 1980s? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website, I know you've heard of the school. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free
3 straight?
Stay.
3 straight. But doesn't mean they won it. It just
No,
means
it just
they were
means
in
they
it.
appeared in 3 straight Final Fours. Okay? Call 888-660-4495 to answer this question. What school appeared in 3 straight Final Fours? And again, we're talking NCAA basketball in the 1980s. Make sure to include your name and your email address. Speak slowly. Spell out your email one letter at a time. I see Vern with his hand on his chin.
Man, yeah.
That's a tough one, huh?
Scratching the stubble of my
Oh,
shit.
dear. Okay, don't touch that dial. Sports Econ 101 will be right back.
It's gotta be North Carolina
Duke or Georgetown?
or
I was thinking Duke or Georgetown. But North Carolina sounds pretty close. Cause Dean
they
Smith
won it
has-
in '82.
Yeah.
They went my freshman
And what years
spring
were
of
these again?
'81. They went. They won it.
Just
They
in
won
the
it the
mid-
next year.
In the 1980s. It just
Okay.
says.
Yeah, it's one of those. I bet you it's one of those 3. Duke.
Houston
North
might have
Carolina,
got. Houston might have done it
Houston.
because they went with Hakeem. They went with.
I just I'm drawing a blank. Not Indiana.
Well, I was at UVA. They went. They went my freshman year, and they went my
Kansas.
3 straight, right?
No.
George Mason.
Yeah, right. The Patriots. I'm gonna go North Carolina because they went spring of '81. They won it the next year with Jordan, and then they lost.
Might be.
They
Sounds
went,
good.
wait. They won it the next year with Jordan. They beat Georgetown and John Thompson because that was Dean Smith's only NCAA championship.
Yep, that's right. You only won that once. I'm gonna say Georgetown, but
Okay,
I'm
guys,
probably
ready?
wrong. Yeah,
We'll go back.
I'm probably wrong.
The next thing I have, I'm just going to save for next week. And remember, we're going to record twice next week
Next week.
and twice the following week.
Okay.
I'm going to put a lot of stuff together. And the last one we'll do is like a year.
Is it spelled right? MCG.
It's actually MAC.
MAC.
Yeah.
Matt Gowan.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. It's not that big.
Anything you guys want to cover the last?
No, whatever you guys talk about.
Something there.
Everybody always misspells my name. It's actually with small g too. My great grandfather
Just
was.
as I hit the post on it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's
Oh,
small.
that's fine.
G.
With that part, it's okay. It's okay with the. I'm not going to quibble. My great grandfather was from Canada, and when he immigrated to the United States, his relatives were from the United States. They left during the
Pick,
Revolutionary War because they were Tories, and they came back.
That is a good.
And he wanted to Americanize his name. So in the 1850s, he Americanized his name, or 1840s. I think it was actually his father, so my great grandfather. So no capitals. You know.
Okay, well, a little trivia question for you here. Okay, how do you pronounce MacDonald?
McDonald.
Okay.
Right.
How do you pronounce MacIntyre?
McIntyre.
McIntyre.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce MacHinery?
H-I-N. McHenry? Henry?
I pronounce it machinery.
Oh, machine.
Just me.
Machinery.
That's
Very
a bad
good.
one.
You got us
Like
with
that.
that one. I like that. That's good.
Okay. All right. So we only have a minute and a half. Let's let you guys bring up
Okay.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Maybe we talk about Seattle. Who's gonna stop?
Oh, sure.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn
Yo.
and Bruce McGowan.
Good to be
Good
here.
to be here. Okay, when we cut to the third commercial break, we have these guys maybe stumped, maybe not. Talking about NCAA basketball. What school appeared in 3 straight Final Fours in the 1980s?
I'm going to say North Carolina.
North Carolina. What do you
I'm gonna
say?
Georgetown.
No, but during the break, you guys did mention the school. Houston.
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 You were
With-
right
with-
with
with-
Houston.
I
You
was
were
right?
You were thinking
Ah.
about Hakeem.
With Hakeem the Dream.
Yeah, that's Hakeem the Dream.
Hakeem
So,
the Dream.
in this last couple of minutes, anybody going to beat the Seattle Seahawks?
Not
Are
if
they
they
for
have-
real?
Not at home.
Not at home.
Not at home. I mean,
No.
gee,
Not
man,
at
that
home.
guy. You know what? That place has it all. They got the loudest stadium in the league, and it was designed that
Yeah,
way.
sure.
And Pete Carroll and their staff, they were able to build a team that just has everything. And Russell Wilson, I heard a radio show earlier before we taped that people are now thinking that you got Manning, you got Brady, but Wilson for what he
Oh,
brings
he's great.
He was like
He can
Kevin.
run, too.
He was
Could
better
be.
than Kaepernick was last year.
could be
Yeah, very
could
good.
be in the discussion for NFL MVP.
And
Well-
where's the Super Bowl being played?
New York.
New York.
There you
MetLife
go.
Stadium.
Outdoors.
Yeah, that's
In
going to be
fact,
tough.
I will be at MetLife Stadium
Oh,
this
nice.
weekend. I have Raiders Jets.
If the Patriots get in, they're probably going to win it. Okay. Thoughts for the day. NBA executive Pat Williams said, "We can't win at home. We can't win on the road. As general manager, I just can't figure out where else to play."
In
And
the old days, they used to have to play in neutral sites once in a while just to draw
that's-
crowds.
Well, that's a good point.
This is back in the pre-1970s, though.
1970?
Yeah.
Okay. And when asked if he visited the Parthenon while in Greece, Shaq answered, "I really can't remember the names of all the clubs we went to."
That sounds like Shaq.
That sounds like Shaq.
Yeah.
Okay, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and giving away free vacations for answering sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
So long.
So here's a gross joke. So these 2 old ladies, they're sitting around and they're smoking